it's the morning after the night before for many Evertonians. Liverpool, Simon, were absolutely superb, weren't they?
They're a very, very good side, aren't they? And most Everton fans would know that was going to be a very, very difficult game.
Yeah.
As disappointed as they are and as emotional as they are, if you distill it to the cold light of day, and emotion drives football, most Everton fans would have said, we want a performance from our lads, but Everton would accept that Liverpool right now are a better side.
Sure.
The question is, when do we start bridging that gap?
I see one or two messages coming in now. We're getting calls on this. Evertonians want to come to air with us, and we'll do that in a second. But one or two Evertonians are saying, why is he communicating with you, Jim, and not us? But he does. He does.
Well, I mean,
he's in the middle of a meeting in New York at the moment. He's got back to me, so at least we can tell them what he's telling us.
You asked him a question, and you have his telephone number. They don't. So, but by definition, there is an element of: does he write program notes? Does he talk through the various mechanisms that the club have available? See, my snap take on this, for what it's worth. And I'm not suggesting I'm the oracle, but I get the impression that Farhad Moshiri is an incredibly successful man that has an inordinate amount of money, that will spend that money at Everton Football Club and is determined to be successful. But I'm not entirely sure that he has elements of the football savvy to support some of the decisions that he's making. Now, I'm not basing that upon any inside information. I'm basing it from a top-down point of view. I know Bill Kenwright, but I haven't spoken to Bill about this, and I've always been an admirer of Bill's, and I understand where Bill comes from. And I wonder sometimes, Bill has other issues in his life, I understand that, but I wonder sometimes if he gets marginalised now because it's somebody else's gig now, it's somebody else's money, it's Farhad Moshiri's Everton now, rather than Farhad Moshiri and Bill Kenwright. And I think there's some football knowledge that's being missed in the translation between spending lots of money, which Everton fans, with due respect, can't criticise somebody that spends a lot of money. They must be pleased with the fact he's spending a lot of money.
Sure.
I just worry, insofar as I'm worried about Farhad Moshiri, that the difference between his football knowledge and his desire to spend money is the gap where Everton aren't prospering in. And I worry that's a decision, because you're buying players, you're spending a lot of money on them. Farhad Moshiri is more successful than I've ever been in my life, so I'm not suggesting I can superimpose my views over him. But when I sat here 2 years ago and I said on this show, I believe Ancelotti is a bad fit for Everton, and I spoke to various people in the European football circuit that were very well heeled and very well in the knowledge, and 15 months later he's proven to be a bad fit. I know that hindsight is a wonderful thing, but good people don't always need hindsight.
No, I remember you said it.
And he's in a position.
Yeah.
He's in a position. I was in a certain position at Palace where I could only attract a certain type of manager. Everton, with Premier League power, Premier League wealth, and an owner that's prepared to spend, can have almost, within reason, a real choice of manager.
Yes.
So you should get it right more often than wrong.
Why is Tony the Evertonian saying, but Simon, what about Bill Kenwright's role? What's your view of Bill Kenwright's role?
I don't know how much of a role.
I was talking to Bill on Sunday at Brentford, and he's utterly passionate about the club that he's chairman
But
of.
he always has been. Whenever Bill texts me, he always is Blue Bill. As if I know who it is when he's texting me. He has to remind me that he's a Blue. Look, I mean, I think Bill
He took a lot of flack last night.
Well, because he's the face of it, isn't he? And he's the one that sacked the Moshiri's in America. So he's going to be the one that takes the brunt of the ire as a result of a performance against a far better Liverpool side.
Yeah.
That's a simple fact of the matter, right? As Manchester United had to accept that they were a far better side when they did the same to them, right? But and of course the spirit and all the emotivity comes to pass. But Bill Kenwright has an encyclopedic knowledge of football, understands the Everton Football Club, understands it to a level that possibly most people don't. Bill has never had during his time. He had to manage Everton within a certain amount of financial resources. It seems to me an inordinate waste that now they don't have the same restrictions economically that Bill Kenwright doesn't get tapped into. And I get the impression that he is a little bit marginalised, and I think that's unwise.
Okay, Robin Cambridge, Evertonian, cool heads needed when things not going well in football. Fans are fans.
Yeah,
some won't ever accept Benitez, and that's the risk you take with an appointment like that.
And that's the risk you take with an appointment like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're asking for calls. We're getting calls. Of course we are. 03717 223344. Joanne, big Evertonian. Joanne, good morning. Moshiri is saying to me this morning that Rafa's a good manager. Underperformance is largely due to injury. He needs time. I've no doubt that the club will have a strong second half of the season. What's your take on it, Joanne?
Hello, Jim. Hello, Simon. I'm a first-time caller.
Morning, Joanne. Morning.
I've been going to Everton since I was a child, in 1972. I'm a 59-year-old lady now, so I've been going quite a while. I didn't particularly want Rafa. However, I support him 100%. I think he's inherited a dreadful situation. And I also think we're living in cloud cuckoo land if we think we can attract big name managers. And when we have attracted one, it didn't exactly work out. He went running as soon as he could. I actually think we should stick by him and let him get on with it. I think Marcel Brands is getting away with it. If I was performing as badly as him, if I was employed, I'm actually self-employed, I don't think I'd be getting away with it in the way he is. Was it him who sanctioned 35 million on Iwobi? Someone who couldn't get into the Arsenal team? So I think questions need to be asked about Marcel Brands. I also think there's far too many hangers-on in the academy system. Over the years, we've had ex-players come back. They come and they go, and they come and they go, and that worries me. But I would say the injury situation has been absolutely shocking. But that's, as you say, when you've got a very weak squad, that's the situation you find yourself in. But the last thing I'd like to say, on a number of occasions, we have seen a particular player laughing and smiling and joking, and I've had texts from people as I've been leaving the game. Alex Iwobi laughing and joking on the pitch after the game when we've been beaten. The camera closed in on him last night, I believe, and he was laughing and joking on the bench. I'm sorry. It's very serious, this, to people. If he went and did the 12-hour shift in a factory week on week and saved up his money to go to the game, he wouldn't be too impressed to see people sitting on the substance laughing.
Joanne, you don't sound like a first-time caller. That was immense. Thank you so much for the time you've given us. Joanne, the Evertonian, what do you make of that? Sam, you were nodding away.
Well, a lot of what she said was probably about right.
Yeah.
You know, she's absolutely right to point out. I pointed out Marcel Brands. She's closer to her own football club. She's looking at it from that point of view. Again, I make the argument when Everton start signing players from clubs that they want to emulate, and players like Theo Walcott and players like Iwobi, and I'm looking at it again, well, why would you sign those players? Because they're coming to the end of their career at Arsenal, and you're trying to take Arsenal's place. Yeah. And you want their players that they don't want. It never seems to me to be a recipe for building something that's going to be successful.